Hi, my name's Stella, and today I want to share another first with you. Um, Today was my first day interning at a local farm. I had gone last week to officially meet the farmer and to talk about like my hours and my expectations. And I helped out a little bit last week, but today was my first full day. I ended up doing about 6.5 hours, and I had a great time. It was everything that I expected, and um, I think I might be going maybe twice a week, starting next week. I don't know. I said I'll think about it, so we'll see. Um, but um, I'll just tell you a little bit about my day today. Um, Today was really hot where I live, and looking at the forecast last night, um, the farmer told me that um, if I wanted to, I can come as soon as like she gets there. So my goal was to get there by 7:30. I got there 7:40 ish because had I got there 7:40 ish to beat the heat. And then what do we do? I've had a long day today in the best way possible. Um, Got there. She showed me how to like mix fish oil concentrate into a 2.5 gallon like watering can. So I did that for a few hundred feet of garden beds. And then I help like cultivate lettuce. So, like picking out the smaller weeds, using tools for the bigger ones, well, using my hands for the biggest ones to pull them out. Of course, watered plants. Oh, I watered so many seedlings. There were seedlings of all different sorts of plants. So we had bell peppers, we had tomatoes, we had leeks, different types of onions, just flowers, just because, um, and just like cilantro, so many different types. Um, and then took a break. I packed a lunch for the first time in a long time. I didn't really know what to pack, and I knew that I wouldn't have access to like a real fridge and a microwave, and so I thought of what could be like the most like cold food that I could think of. So I have a thermos that I use usually for hot coffee in the mornings when I go to work, but I used for cold today. So while I was getting ready in the morning, I put ice water into my thermos to like, prep it for to maintain cold for longer. I put milk in there. I put milk in my thermos to be outdoors all day. Of course, my actual water bottle with ice water, and my meal was PB&J. I haven't had PB&J in a long time, but I actually got to use the jam that my sister got me from where did she go? It was it's not City of Saints, but it was City of Angels at UCLA. Um, my sister went to that conference, I think maybe even 2 years ago, and she got me sherry jam that a group of like Catholic monks made. I think they were monks. I forget the name, but it was like basically alcohol jam, and so I finally got to open that up today. And no, I don't think that counts as drinking at on the job. So PB&J with that. I had milk, cold milk in my thermos, and then I didn't think that would be enough. So I had like a small mason jar of cashews, walnuts, and pistachio. So I had all of that prepped last night. I knew that it would be really hot today, so I had like my hat with the string attached here just in case it got windy. Um, slathered on some sunblock. And yeah, I was out there for 6.5 hours doing farm stuff. And I got to learn a lot about why we do what we do, how often we do what we do, Um, Leeks were really interesting today because we dug really deep holes and we planted them all the way, and we didn't cover it up with soil, we just watered it. So that was interesting. Um, yeah. Another part of farming that I want to share is that I got interested in interning at this farm because I have been gardening myself. Well, actually, last season was my first season. I joined a community garden and I had so much fun tending to my bed, my personal bed last year, that I'm doing it again this season, kind of on a smaller scale because I'm more selective about what I'm planting this season. Um, and I thought that interning at this farm would be good exposure for me to learn from a real life person who has real experience and get that exposure, have that opportunity to learn about a lot more plants than I would if I were to only tend to my garden. And what really got me interested in gardening in the first place is I want to, like, self sufficiency has always been a big thing for me. And so I would one day love to, or I'm working towards right now, I'm working towards being able to like grow my own food and eat my own food. And maybe it's because I'm interested in this stuff and I search these things, but in my allergies, but on my like Instagram and like YouTube algorithm, I get a lot of videos on the state of our like agriculture, horticulture, and like most recently, I read that McCormick was bought up by Unilever. And McCormick, like a lot of us know, they're a big like food company, right? And I am willing to bet any spices you have in your cabinet, I'm willing to bet you have at least one or two from McCormick. They're really big on spices. And Unilever is an even bigger company with a lot of like food companies within it. And so what a lot of people are worried about is that because McCormick was bought up by Unilever, um, there's like speculations that McCormick's spice quality is going to go down and things like that. So there's news like that. There's news like Bill Gates's appeal, APPEAL. It's like some sort of chemical covering that's being sprayed onto our foods. It barely even made the news. People aren't really talking about it. And I think on paper, sure, it might sound great because it's a chemical that like protects the food from decaying faster. And so we get to, keep our produce for a lot longer. And you may have noticed this, like one head of lettuce or like an apple could go for like months at this point. I know that I've definitely noticed it with my food. Like normally an apple would spoil, even if it's in the fridge, it would spoil within like a few weeks, at least within a month. But I'm pretty sure I have an apple here that's almost 2 months old and it's still good, or at least on the outside it looks good. On the inside it's like a little more spongy. But um, basically, um, I've been really interested in growing my own food for many years now. And when I used to live in a big city, I didn't really have the space to do it. Even though my family home, we had a backyard, um, I didn't really know how to do it, first of all, nor did I really have the time to do it. But now I don't live in the city anymore. I live in like a smaller town where the history of our town is really big. Like farming was a really big part of this town a long time ago. So we still have a lot of farmers. We have lots of like community gardening programs. And so yeah, once I moved here, I was able to like actually fulfill my dream of growing my own food and eating it. And I actually rescued uh, like I guess, a family of lettuce. When I was setting up my garden for the first time this Saturday, by our compost pile, there had been like a growth of lettuce that I was eyeing a few weeks, maybe about like 2, 3 weeks ago. I was helping like prepare the beds for the new gardeners and returning gardeners. And I saw that by our compost pile, we had like lettuce. And the the farm person was like, hey, if you want to take this lettuce, you can have it. Or she pointed it out. And I was like, ooh, can I call dibs on it? And she was like, sure. And so I had seen it when it was very small. And then 2 days ago, when I went to like actually prepare my bed, I saw that the lettuce had grown like this big. And so, of course, it wasn't like one lettuce, it was like a big one, and then a medium one, and like lots of smaller ones around. Um, I'll probably share my garden bed one day, take my camera out there and share. But I put aside my bag of lettuce that I harvested from just that first rescue. So from that compost pile, I took the lettuce, I like went pretty deep and I popped it out, and then I walked it over to my garden bed, dug a hole, and I put it in there. And then this is from that first harvest. Um, this is actually the second veggie that I've harvested this season. The first one was garlic chive, which I also rescued from somebody else's garden. She actually moved to a city like an hour away from here, and so she wasn't returning. And I saw that she had chives in a pot next to her old bed. And again, I got permission to bring it over. It was actually offered to me, and so I was like, sure, I'll take it. So I brought it over, I cut up the chives, and I made puchujan. Puchujan is like chive pancake uh, in Korean, savory, and it was really good. So that was my first harvest. And then this one is lettuce. So I want to start by sharing my reusable items. I think, well, not I think that it's all of our responsibilities to reduce, to minimize our carbon footprint as much as possible. And to me, that all ties in with like healthy eating and taking care of our bodies. Um, I think that taking care of our planet is also a really big part of being, as I like to say to my students, being a normal human being, like a normal, good human being. Um, ever since I got these mesh bags, I try my best to remember them and always have at least one in my car. Um, and yeah, I haven't used like a regular produce plastic bag in a really long time. So mine comes in lots of different sizes. This is the second to biggest one. So this is this. It comes with a drawstring. And then inside of this, I have two napkin types of things. I originally got this to replace um, a cheesecloth. Like I was looking for a cheesecloth, but I found these, and these are like small, meshy. So I figured they would work. And at the same time, it also replaces regular napkins and paper towels. So I bought a 4 set of these, and I really like this one because it's 100% organic cotton. Oh, and I learned from my farmer that the term organic has been stolen by Big Farm, but that's a whole different story. But, anyways, I have these two paper towel replacements on either side of the produce bag so that, but imagine this on the inside, so that the lettuce doesn't collect moisture um, and it gets dried up. So, two um, napkins, paper towel things, and then a produce bag. And then inside is my lettuce. My lettuce and a little bit of arugula. Oh, my arugula, when I got to my garden bed this season, I thought I had pulled all of my salads out because I didn't know that salad would last throughout the winter. So when I got to my garden bed, I saw like flowering plant like this tall, probably taller than my this part. And it was flowering, and I was like, what is this weed? But then I looked closer and I saw that it was my arugula. So I snipped off the flowers so that it could tell the plant to like start producing leaves again. And so I harvested some arugula, but most of it is lettuce. And I already put them into my salad spinner and then dried it and then made sure I put the cloth in there so that all of the extra moisture is absorbed so that the lettuce doesn't get soggy. Um, and yeah, so far I've had it. I've been on a steak and cheese kick. So I've had steak and cheese at home 3 times with roasted bell peppers and caramelized onion and provolone. So good. And then I just had a little bit, not even like I didn't even have dressing with it today. I just had this with my 2 steak and cheese, um, just like to nibble on to like cut the fat or, to have like a balance in the meal. And yeah, so uh, yeah, I wanted to share my reusable items um, and encourage you to do the same. I plan to share a lot more of my like reduce, reuse, recycle um, processes. Um, yeah, I plan to share like more of my reduce, reuse, recycle processes in the future. I was just really excited today to share something new. So my first day at the farm, and then my second harvest, my lettuce. The chives are out there, and yeah, all this to say that taking care of our planet is a really near and dear thing to me. Um, and I think I'll save why it's so near and dear to me for another time. Um, it's definitely about the way that I was brought up and all the volunteer services that I did. Um, but yeah, just wanted to share a different side of my life, and more to come about gardening and reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, and being a good steward. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for allowing me to share, and I'll be back with something else to share. Thanks.